I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition, episode 28 of the Sports Sensei's Unleashed. The snowman, Brian Snow, to my side. Sun's out, guns out, as I'm here, D. Willie Drew Willingham, to bring you the Sports Sensei's Unleashed. Snowman, how are you feeling today, my brother?
I'm feeling awesome, my man. I am feeling awesome. Had a chance to spend some time with Jody. She's still recovering from a knee injury, and I want to send a special shout out to Cheyenne Paz, my baby girl. Today is her birthday.
Well, happy birthday. It's always great to celebrate another birthday on this wild planet we know as Earth.
Yep.
So
happy birthday, baby girl. And I got to show you the card she gave me for Father's Day.
Okay.
She gave this to me on the 4th, so it was late, and then of course Jody and I went on vacation. She got me this big thing.
Nice. Back it up just a little bit.
There
it is. Like I said, that's a one big card. I like that though. That is awesome.
It's
that is twice the size of your head.
Yeah, and my chest too. Inside reads, "It's just that simple. Our family's so very lucky to have you. Have a great dad like you. Happy Father's Day." And she also writes, "Thank you for being my dad, even when you didn't have to be. I love you, Pop." Cheyenne.
That's awesome. That's what being a dad is all about. I don't know yet. I'm not pops yet out here in these streets, but
I know.
See the love get to my friends who are fathers. That is awesome.
I cried when I got this, and my daughter Sonia was here, and they were all just waiting on my reaction when I opened the card. So happy birthday, baby girl. Pops loves you.
As you were raising that card, what entered my mind was Snowman cried. Snowman absolutely cried just from seeing the card. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's one of those cries you can appreciate because, that's just a happiness cry. Like it's tears of joy. So
it is tears of joy, being with my wife and being with my children. And I got to see one of my grandsons recently, Jaden. He is 5 years. He is 5 years old now.
Now, when the grandchildren came over, did they do this to you?
Acknowledge me.
No, they were busy climbing on top of my head.
Okay.
They were climbing. They were climbing my shoulder. They were climbing on my shoulders. Jaden was showing me his toy guns that he got. Eliana, my newest granddaughter, just climbed on my shoulders and just sat there for a minute, going, "What are you doing?" and she climbed, and she's 2 now, and she's running all over the place. And I just think to myself, I had that kind of energy once upon a time, and then I grew up.
And now you look back on the loss of the energy and you're saying this.
That's terrible.
Absolutely. It absolutely is.
I'm gonna be 51 next. I'm gonna be 51 next week, but I'm getting some of my energy back from beating cancer, beating blood clots. And Kaylee, my other daughter, was just so happy to see us. She and Jody talked. I talked with her boyfriend. We just were hanging out for the day, and it was so much fun.
That sounds like a great time to hang out with family over the weekend. Glad you got that time, Snowman. I'm also glad that you're doing a lot better at the age of almost 51 next week than you were at 50 last year, because I was around for that. We were doing shows. Wasn't quite like what we're doing shows at this pace with Sports Sensei's, but you had just started with the In-Or-Out Sports Debate. It was around that time was your first appearance on that. I'd done my first appearance on Snowman in the Morning, and we were starting to work together at that point. And to see your growth from then to now, even though you did clonk out on me last week, and for that, you need to
acknowledge me.
Absolutely.
I clocked out. I zonked out. I fell out. I fell flat on my face. I apologize. I am acknowledging the fact that my body gave up on me before I could climb in the studio. And here's what's bad about what happened. I put the show on my calendar so Jody could know and remind me. Man, it got to be, I would like to say 12:30, and I looked at my phone and I said, okay, I got 30 minutes. I'm going to steal about 15 of them, and then I'm going to go clock in. Not a chance. Because as soon as I put the phone down on my nightstand, I was snoring out loud. And Jody came in and rubbed my shoulders, and she said, I have a show to do now. I go, what? And this is how glassy my eyes were. All right. This is when I turned to her, my face was like this. That's how I was sleeping. And then Cheyenne came over, then Dakota, and we had the kids there. That 4th of July, I was in and out most of the day.
Pardon the pun.
Yes,
you were.
I was in and out most of the day. Drew kept saying, "I can back it up to 2:00, but that's as far as I can go." I remember reading that message, and I can back it up to 2:00. I didn't wake up until 5. I was that tired. I was that tired. It took Dakota waking me up, and then going outside and firing up the grill, and putting the meal together. But I apologize to you first, Sensei Drew, for last week, for my body quitting on me. And I also apologize to my family, because they know what's going on with me, that my body has changed, but I still feel like I owe them an apology. And I talked to Cheyenne, and I said, Cheyenne, honey, I'm so sorry for not being a participant. And she says, Dad, we were just giving you mess. We know your body's changed. And I apologized to Jody, and Jody looked at me and said, look, I already know what's going on. You don't have to apologize. They know you're not being antisocial. Like, I'm trying my best not to be antisocial, but my body just had other ideas, and they all give me mess about it, but I love it. I love the time.
Your body literally said this.
Damn!
Especially after my wife brought in the hot dogs and the burgers, laid out the chips and the baked beans and the potato salad, laid out the whole meal. Play that again, because that's exactly what my
Damn!
Yep, that's exactly what my body said.
Your body said not only that, but it said it with the side of this.
Hell to the no, no. Hell no, to the no.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sports Sensei's Unleashed.
It said that aloud, okay? It said hell no to the no. I'm not cooperating. And it was a holiday. And usually on holidays we have the family over. I think it was Dakota and Cheyenne that were giving me the most mess, because and Cheyenne's a nurse. Cheyenne knew what I went through, but she still teases me about it, which I absolutely love. Dakota saw me and he guided me to this is hard. He guided me toward the kitchen and he just pointed to the counter. And I went nuts with the food. It was one of the rare days. I made sure I took my medicine, made sure I checked my insulin and everything, made sure I had 2 of these full of ice water because I was drinking some other stuff. I was drinking some other stuff too. I was drinking some lemonade and some iced tea and one of the wines that Jody and I got from Branson, from St. James Winery. One of these episodes, I got to fully talk about the vacation Jody and I had. But yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm ready to talk sports with my sensei brother and ready to rock. I'm feeling good today.
Well, Snowman, I'm glad you enjoyed that time and got to recoup and back and ready to rock and roll. And we got some great sports topics for today. And the first one I want to start off with is on this day in sports history. And as you can see with this graphic right here, this does involve some of these players. Even if we don't want to acknowledge one of the 4, we still kind of have to on this date. Yeah. But on this day in sports, what really sticks out to you as far as memorable times within sports that you have in your notations?
What sticks out to me on this day in sports history? That graphic just shows how much history there is within sports. But the one that stands out to me is Serena Williams and her dominance in her dominance in tennis, her dominance at Wimbledon. And I really, for a long time, I wasn't into tennis after Andre Agassi left and after Chris Evert left. And then Serena Williams, the Williams sister, shows up. And then Serena's just having all kinds of dominance right now. So that's what stands out to me.
And that was definitely one of the ones I was going to go with, which is why I've got her in the graphic right there. And, we got Earl Weaver in there. Earl Weaver, who was a longtime manager for the Baltimore Orioles, became manager on this day in 1968, replacing Hank Bauer for the Baltimore Orioles. That was why I have him on there as one of the 4 up there. In 1914, the great Bambino, the Hall of Famer, makes his MLB debut as a pitcher for the Boston Red Sox and earns a 4-3 victory against the Cleveland Naps. A long-time name. Has been a long time since they've been the Cleveland Naps, but at Fenway Park, which is why I have that on there. And even though we combat the bronze sexuals so much because of their lust for LaBus James, okay?
Yeah, it is.
On this day in 2012 at the 20th ESPY Awards, Brittany Griner and him, LaBus James, win an ESPY. It probably wasn't a deserved one, but he got it anyway. And back on this date in 2012. Also, future Hall of Fame basketball legend and guard Steve Nash was traded by the Phoenix Suns to the Los Angeles Lakers on this date in 2012. So those are the things that stick out to me on July 11th when it comes to memorable sports moments in history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those stick out to me too. Serena's the biggest one that sticks out to me.
Mm-hmm.
And, her dominance in tennis. And good old Earl Weaver, who would fight the umpires at the drop of a hat. And I loved every single minute of it.
Just look at that baseball bat the Bambino is holding right there, Snowman. Like, it looks like a broomstick. Like, look how much baseball bats have evolved since that time.
It looks like a broomstick that just got broken, and they walked up and handed it to him.
Is that thing like 64 inches long? Like, what in the father is going on with that thing? Like,
Like, look at it. Hey, look and say, hey, try this one. And he looked at it and said, I don't know what to do. And then he figured it out.
It's like it's like a 16-ounce bat right there. Like 16-ounce bat, 64 inches long. I don't know
that's a bat today that you practice with.
Yeah, it looks like
that's a bat you practice with.
It looks more like a stickball bat than anything. It doesn't. It's stickball or wiffle ball.
Anybody that played stickball or wiffle ball, I know I certainly did growing up in Chicago. Y'all know the size of that bat. But that's one of those kind of bats, like I said, that's one of those kind of bats that you put a weight at the end of it and you warm up with it and get all your arms and your back all stretched out. That's a stretch out bat today.
It is. And just seeing that little broomstick thing and just seeing how things have evolved since the 20s and 30s, or even the 10s when he was playing in that time frame as well. Things have changed so much in the game of baseball. Now, the most recent thing is Elly De La Cruz, right before the All-Star break, had that little cap on his bat. The little thing that tells the metric. I can't remember the exact name. If fans, if you know what I'm talking about, you can put it in the comments. But he had that little cap on the end of his bat that tells the metrics of distance the ball hits, bat speed, all that stuff, temperature outside, whatever. But and there was a big coup within that game where they were trying to get that, removed from the game and toss that from the game, which actually they got a call from the office saying Major League Baseball is cool with it. He put it back on the end of his bat, and what do you know? The motherfather gets a home run right when he puts it back on the end of his bat during the same at bat. What I love about Elly De La Cruz Saturday against Milwaukee, swipe second base. All right.
And then next 2 pitches later, he swipes third. And while the Brewers are tossing the ball around and the pitcher turns his back, Cruz says, okay, nobody home. And he took it and he swiped home. I've seen base runners swipe home, but not like that. I mean, come on, you're the pitcher. You have the ball. Step on the mound. Pay attention to your runners.
Absolutely.
Pay attention to your runners. I mean, you got a runner at third base that's faster than lightning, and you turned your back on him. Why'd you do that?
It makes no sense to me, to be honest with you, Snowman. I have no idea why he made that decision. It's kind of like that Stanek balk that we were talking about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the dynamics of how that affected, that game. And now we're talking about this, and it's just it's errors and it's cerebral decisions that you cannot be making out there on the field if you're competing for a championship.
Right. And like you said, cerebral championships, especially with the team like Milwaukee that's threatening to win the National League Central. They trail the Reds by a game, and they have to see each other 12 more times before the year is out. Elly's going to remember stealing home in Milwaukee and giving the Reds at the time a big, big win. Now, Milwaukee responded on Sunday with a 1-0 shutout, but that's going to play in Milwaukee's mind for the rest of the year.
Yes. And, speaking of things playing out, here in a minute or so, we're going to go to our first commercial break. But then when we come back, it's like I talked to you about in the green room. We're gonna have to go into some bronze sexual confession time. I have not done this in quite some time, since probably my last appearance on Snowman in the Morning. But with Snowman's blessing, I've borrowed the clip. We will be having the bronze sexuals clip on here. Famous, legendary Cole Johnson.
I'm just gonna sit back and laugh.
Yes,
I know it's coming.
It's coming. And that's why I have to do it on this show, because I need Snowman's 2 cents, because this is absolutely insane how people react and how emotional people get when it comes to takes out there, no matter what social media platform. This one happened to be TikTok, but we'll have more in store for you when we come back from our first commercial break. Thank you, as always, for tuning into the Sports Sensei.
IRS, open up.
The IRS is the most feared agency in the country and has the power to seize assets, garnish wages, and even put you in jail for back taxes and unfiled tax returns. Don't be a victim. Call Kick IRS right now and let us kick those IRS problems out of your life once and for all. Our powerful team of tax experts will fight hard for you and will not stop until we've resolved your tax problems on your terms. And if you qualify, we may even reduce or eliminate your tax debt altogether. No more sleepless nights wondering when the IRS is going to come after you. Take control of your tax problems today and make the phone call. We have an A rating with the Better Business Bureau, and we offer a 100% written guarantee, so there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. The consultation is free and the phone call is free. So pick up the phone right now and kick those IRS problems out of your life once and for all.
Call 800-807-8188. That's 800-807-8188. 800-807-8188.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-973-6121.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now.
Call 800-418-8650. Call now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a show that does not acknowledge fraudulent ESPY nominations for tomorrow at 8 p.m. for Yo King LeBron James, the Sports Senseis Unleashed.
Not my king. I know that much.
Not mine either. Which takes us into our next take.
Here it comes.
That being the Braun sexual confessions.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know that Cole and I have dedicated the second hour to Braun sexuals and its ridiculousness. But when Drew tells me that he has a Braun sexual confession, I am just going to sit back and I'm going to let him roll. Push a button.
I have to give it actually a few seconds before I push the button because due to technical difficulties, I had to re-upload it. But before we get to this situation of neither here nor there, this all happened on social media. And I'm one, as Snowman is, an advocate for social media because that's why we're here today. We are broadcasting our show based on social media. And we talk on social media. And there's been so much hype by the mouth breathers out there when it comes to LeBron James and his greatness as Yo King. And for that, and for the awesomeness of Snowman in the Morning, I dedicate this next take to this.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronsexual Confessions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my take of the Bronsexual Confessions on episode 28 of the Sports Senseis Unleashed. As it comes to this, Bronsexuals lashing out at Drew on TikTok. Absolutely they are. And a shout out to the sports judge, because if it was not for the sports judge and his post of MJ is the undisputed GOAT as his title, it would not have captured the emotional, heartfelt messages of those bronzexuals out there in these streets.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. You know it, Snowman. Here it comes.
Oh,
because
boy.
I commented with this, and I did it under the Sartoba Media banner under that TikTok channel, and I said, no debate, LaBust flops, cries, and cheats. MJ equals GOAT is what I said. That was all I said. Very small, very vague, but short to the point. Snowman knows that's all you got to say, especially when it comes to he flops, cries, and cheats. MJ is a GOAT. That's all you really got to say.
Yep, especially when it comes to these bronzexuals.
Well, this bronzexual gets really upset when I said this and says,
oh, no.
Quote. This is a basketball debate. No need to get your emotions into it. And I said, there was nothing emotional about what I said. He goes, you didn't actually critique his game. All you said was he whines to the refs. Sounds like it's coming from your heart and not the brain. No, it sounds like I've seen it with my eyes, and I'm giving you an analysis of what I've seen based on what Yo Kang does out there in the court. I'm sorry that I'm not a bronzexual. I'm sorry that half of my half sleeve of my arm isn't dedicated to a bronzexual because, or LeBron himself, because I never would do that when it comes to acknowledging Yo Kang, because he's not my king. Okay, so that's one. Now, back to what I said. So again, I said, there was no emotion in what I said. You are the one with the emotional defensive replies, which is what he said. He said, LeBron flops, cries, and cheats. LeBron literally has never cheated or cried, which is why we have the emoji of LeBron James crying and all of our promotional things that we do for our stories on Instagram and Facebook and other platforms when we have the Sports Sensei's Unleashed.
LeBron James never cheating. Who told this lie?
Absolutely. So talk about that. He goes, you just hate on LeBron because he cried to refs 24/7, none to do with basketball. Has absolutely everything to do with basketball, because when he doesn't get his way, he acts like the Gen Zs out here just crying to get their way. Like they didn't get their little dessert after their dinner when they were 3 years old. Sorry, it doesn't work like that out here in the real streets. But when it does, let me know. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to the fact of LeBron James being the greatest of all time and being Yo Kang, this is the real way that people feel about it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
You know it, and I know it, that nobody really cares. But apparently you do, because you're the one getting upset saying, he never cries, he never cheats, he never steals. But he does, and you know it. And then at the end of the day, when you get your way, you have the audacity to say this.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
If you even know what that means, you say that. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm saying the most following one after that, because what you're saying doesn't actually make sense.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Because you are not speaking English if you are praising LeBron James as Yo Kang. Snowman, how do you feel?
LeBron James sucks as a basketball player. He sucks. He's bad. He's not fundamentally sound. Hell, I've seen so many better small forwards than him, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
I had a bronzexual tell me that I need to say out loud he's number 2 behind MJ. That's a lie. 200 maybe, but not number 2. That's a damn lie.
Snowman, we hate on LeBron, but I at least will do this.
Acknowledge me.
For him,
I did too, and he sucks.
I will do that for him and say that he at least deserves to be in the top 10.
No,
and you think I'm wrong when I say that? But
no, Bishop Bullwinkle, please.
Hell to the no, to the no. Hell no, to the no.
Thank you.
Hey, Snowman, sometimes people just can't.
You can't handle the truth.
No.
Yeah, they can't handle the truth about LeBron. Give me Bishop Bullwinkle a game.
Hell to the no, to the no. Hell no, to the no.
Now get out of our face, you thirsty. Just
I don't have the outro for the Bronze Social Convention. All I had was that intro because I think you guys have beefed it up a little bit more since February when we did that episode 9 of this show. But when if for those of you who haven't seen the commercial, I don't know if I woke up kind of late today because my shift, when I work at my regular job, and I caught the end of Snowman's show where he's talking about video games and laying pipe. I did catch that part, but other than that, I don't know if Snowman got to play this for you guys during Snowman in the Morning today, but if he didn't, I'll play it for you now. Welcome back to a show where we have just as many commercials as a TNT broadcast, the Sports Senseis Unleashed.
I hate you, Joe. Catch Sensei Drew and Sensei Brian Tuesdays at 1:05 Eastern. It's the Sports Senseis Unleashed. Brought to you by Snowman Multimedia and Rescoba Media. The struggle is real to be awesome.
Snowman killed it with that one right there. I loved it. And guys, definitely check us out. You're checking us out right now, whether it's live or in syndication. So thank you all for being here for that. And with that being said, let's take it into our next take, Snowman. And tonight we have a very special event, and that is the MLB All-Star Game. And which players do you think will make the most impact on that game? Besides, they can be in this graphic right here or not. But what are you thinking for tonight's game? Who do you think is going to make the most
Roberts.
impact? Okay,
I'm being a total homer because half my brain is dead right now because I'm tired. But Luis Roberts is going to be one of the key players, I believe in this game. And of course, you got Vladdy Guerrero Jr., who just absolutely killed the home run derby last night. But yeah, those are the two players I'm looking at. What about you?
Well, you talk about homer picks, and even though he's no longer with my team in the Atlanta Braves, he's with the Dodgers. I always gotta be a fan for Freddie Freeman.
Yep.
Always have had a love for that guy because for what he did in Atlanta. I was happy that he did get the championship with him, that he was there for that. Of course, I'm not a fan of how he exited, and I don't think neither is he. His agent lied to him, and and didn't do what's best for his client in that. And I think that changes up the dynamic of how agents work since that moment. That's not the general way of what most agents work for their clients, but I feel like that he wasn't the only one who was a part of some shady deals when it came to that. And, that kind of shed some light on some certain things that certain people do out there when it comes to business. And, when it comes to that, I'll always be a fan of Freddie Freeman. There's some people that'll leave your team and the way that they leave it, and you don't become fans of them anymore because of the way that they depart their old team that you're a fan of. But Freddie left in a classy way. He wanted to stay in Atlanta, and he would still be in Atlanta. He would still be a part of the NL All-Star team in a Braves uniform had that not happened. So, even though he's with the Dodgers, I don't hold any ill will towards him. He's the one person that I look to that'll make an impact, based on just the type of person he is, overall, and he does inside the locker room. When it comes to the American League, though, depending on what they let him do, and I think if I remember right, they've got him starting as the DH, and that's Shohei Ohtani. And Shohei Ohtani, somebody that we'll get to here in a little bit and talk outside of the All-Star game. But for the All-Star game, this is what's best for him because the amount of home runs he said, I believe 31 at the All-Star break, 31 home runs. He's just over 30 home runs in general. It's still great 32. To be at the All-Star break. 32. Okay, so he did get one. He got one more right before the All-Star break. Okay, so when it comes to that, he's on pace to reach Aaron Judge numbers this year from last year. If he keeps it up. And the amazing part of that is he's still pitching in between all of this. So if he can stay healthy, which he has, and this is something that we discussed in the Inner Out Sports Debate last week, as well as Sick Diggy and I discussed this last week when he was in for you. And when it comes to Shohei Ohtani in the Japanese style of play, they are accustomed to be multi-diversal and to be able to play multiple positions and to have the stamina and keep themselves in shape to be able to do those type of things. It's not uncommon in Japanese baseball. It's a lot uncommon in the Major League Baseball here in America because we just don't see it that often. And the last person that did this much of an impact on the baseball side when it comes to pitching, defense, and the offensive batting was probably Babe Ruth. But the difference between him and Shohei is this: it's 100 years apart, for one. Two, Babe Ruth didn't keep himself in shape. He was eating hot dogs and slinging back beer and stuff all the time. He didn't take care of himself. Shohei is in tremendous shape and keeps himself in great physical fitness form to where he can pull this off. I think he's going to make the impact as a DH because they're probably going to at least give him 2 at-bats. I would say it would make sense because it's not like he's using any energy in the field or pitching. So you got the best of him just batting. He's able to chill, just hit. And I think that he might even smash one out of the park tonight, Snowman, because he's just going to be chilling.
I think so too. I think so too.
So
Dietz has a comment. How is this an all-star game when the biggest star of the season isn't even there? Ellie De La Cruz should be there. Ellie should be there. De La cruising around the bases, but unfortunately, there's the time factor.
Yeah, he hasn't been in the league long enough.
Right.
He's only been there for about a month, even though he's making a huge splash. If he keeps it up, he will be there next year. And that was something that I meant to do earlier before this take, but we'll get through all of them. Ike has found us again, says, yo, Ike doesn't give a fuck.
Hey, what's up, Ike?
Is back in the house. And Victor Locke says, happy birthday to Cheyenne as you were going through your happy birthday speech at the beginning of the show. And he says, are you crying? There's no crying in baseball. Jimmy Duggan.
Says you.
The famous quote. Talking about
says you.
Old Vic throwing some what's up, said Vic and Dietz there. Why you got diss Serena like that to Snowman? Snowman, you were dissing Serena. I don't even recall you dissing Serena.
I didn't.
I didn't either.
I think he was kidding around when he said that.
Oh, we all know. Okay.
There you go.
That part.
There you go.
That was the best steal home since Benny the Jet Rodriguez. Drew, turning this episode of the Sports Senseis into the gun show. Yeah, it's hot out here in these streets here in Virginia. And I was doing some stuff, before the show. Snowman's pulling the guns out. Snowman says, I am not messing around anymore. Snowman's got him up. He is ready to rock. Sun's out, guns out. What's up? That is what Snowman is doing. Snowman bringing the guns back out in these streets.
Since I've lost weight and I've started doing a lot more exercises, these have returned.
The guns are back.
Let me do this the right way before we go to break. Let me do this the right way. Sun's out, guns out.
Yeah, so Snowman's form's looking a little bit better than mine right now. I've got the beef right there. I just got to get the actual definition there. Like the clubs are there, just got to tone them up a little bit. But
same with me. I just started doing push-ups recently. Haven't had a chance to get in the gym yet, but I've done some resistance training at the suggestion of my friend Charles Faulkner. Done a whole lot of stuff. Done a lot of stretching. But that feels good to do that, to show off a little bit. That feels good to do that.
Bands, get some resistance bands, Snowman, because that's been helping me out too with that and agility and stuff is the resistance bands. So we could definitely talk more about that later on. But before we go to break, this is why baseball can't gain traction. They continuously shoot themselves in the foot, followed by, again, baseball wasting talent. The guy has been there a month, hit the cycle, stole 16 bases. He makes the game fun to watch. And
he does.
We're not disagreeing with you at all.
Not disagreeing with you. It's just they have this stupid rule in place about time.
That's
what I'm saying.
Time, and there's certain stats that besides the time. I mean, if he had been there another 30 or 45 days prior, then yes, he would have easily
been an all-star.
I watched a video yesterday, actually, leading up to this show, and it was the top 7 players who didn't deserve to be in the All-Star game. And they started off with a legend, which was Reggie Jackson, who in 1983 was batting 182 or something like that going into that part of the year. But because of it, and he only had 12 home runs and batting 182, but because of his previous accomplishments, and they knew that he was getting towards the tail end of his career, little did they know he still played for 4 more years after that when they made its selection. And he made one more All-Star game the following year because he actually had a little bit of a resurgence. But in 83, Reggie Jackson got there with a 182 or 183 batting average, something like that, and 12 home runs. And another one, a closer, Mike Williams for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I want to say it was like 2001 or 2002. I can't remember the exact year. He had like an over 5 earned run average at the All-Star game, but because he was 3rd in the league in saves at that point, that's why he got it, because he was the closer. So there's certain elements to how you get into the baseball All-Star game, which mind boggles me and mind boggles you and mind boggles Snowman. But hey, at the end of the day, we still got to deal with it and eat what's on our plate.
Yeah, we got to deal with the players that are there. Let's take a break.
On that note, we're going to take a break. We'll see you guys here on the other side here in about 2.5 minutes.
How would you like to get high-speed internet for your home for less than $2 a day? That's right. For about $50 a month, you'll get lightning fast internet. Are you paying less than $50 a month right now for your internet? Then call Whole Home Connect right now for blazing fast internet at $50 a month with no price increases, no hidden fees, no contracts, no equipment fees. It's a great deal. And guess what? You can try it for 15 days. If you don't like it, you get your money back, but you're gonna love it, and you're gonna love the price. Internet for your home for $50 a month. That's less than $2 a day. Plus, no contracts, no equipment fees, and our 15-day guarantee. Call now.
Call 866-314-8900. That's 866-314-8900. Again, 866-314-8900.
If you're the kind of person that likes to drive a lot and your car is a little bit older and out of the normal warranty, keep listening. What's going on underneath the hood of your car? If your car is out of warranty, you're at risk of expensive repair bills. Now, for a couple of dollars a day, you can get an extended protection plan for your car. Hey, you love your car, so why not give it a little extra care and make sure if something goes wrong, your bank account is safe. Literally, for a couple of dollars a day, you can give yourself peace of mind that you purchased a top-tier vehicle repair coverage plan. Call the Auto Protection Network right now and ask how you could save an additional $500 on your policy.
Call 877-845-0463. Call now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a show that tells more truth about sports than every failing network that you see. The Sports Senseis Unleashed.
My man, absolutely. When it comes to sports, and we do not acknowledge fraudulent SB nominations.
Never. Never. What's next?
Now, before we go to our final topic, I don't know if Snowman had the opportunity to see this, but I want to show him and the fans now. No sports, just life. And just tell you that I love Skittles. I absolutely love Skittles. Skittles are amazing. We have something out here at the grocery store that you can combine Skittles with and take into your ordinary life. Sometimes when you need a snack, you can combine water and this. Skittles in a container. You can put Skittles into your water to where your water turns into this. And Skittles water is absolutely amazing. Skittles in a small bottle with water together makes awesomeness. I need to be their spokesperson.
I saw that and fell out. I knew you loved Skittles. That's one of the first things you declared when we became friends. Like, look, you want to bribe me? Bring me a big ass bag of Skittles. You're on.
Fucking
That's
Skittles
no
are
problem.
on.
See, if that's the bargaining chip with Drew, then I know whenever we make it to Virginia, I know what I need to have. And that's like a grocery bag full of Skittles. I know that now. But in all seriousness, you have Skittles. I discovered something 3 years ago down in Carolina that kind of took over the household. I discovered peanut butter M&Ms. Peanut butter, yes, folks, peanut butter M&Ms. And I couldn't believe it. I brought them home. I said, baby, try these. Yeah. It was on after that.
I love peanut butter M&Ms too, Snowman. They're on point.
Peanut butter M&Ms, y'all.
Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly.
Peanut butter
M&Ms.
Damn it. peanut butter M&Ms. Damn it.
Well, now that we've had our Candelicious fun for the Sports Senseis Unleashed episode, we have one more topic left to discuss before we go into our closing thoughts. That's going back to baseball a little bit. The LA Angels should trade Shohei Ohtani before the deadline this season. Will they? What do you think about this one, Snowman?
This could be an in or out question, to be honest with you.
It could, but you notice I didn't word it that way. I worded it differently.
I'm saying yes, they will.
You think they will?
Because you have no Mike Trout in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And those two together kept the Angels afloat. Now you don't have Trout for 6 to 8 weeks. And the Angels have got to be thinking, now what? So what if Trout comes back for 6 to 8 weeks and it takes him another 4 to 6 weeks to like get back in the groove? Because Mike Trout was killing the ball. Yeah. Ohtani and Trout were the main reasons the Angels are competitive and are in the midst of chasing a wild card in the American League West Division. Unfortunately, even with Ohtani, even with Trout, even with that lineup that is still coming together, they can't beat Texas and they can't beat Houston. Big problem. Big problem just within the division. And then you have Seattle to contend with.
Mm-hmm.
Who could sneak up on anybody. They could sneak up on Houston or Texas. And they were doing that last year with a 14-game winning streak until they ran into the Houston Astros and they slapped them back to reality. The Angels have been slapped back to reality. And I believe Ohtani may be gone after the All-Star break. Speaking of breaks, let me step aside for a minute. I will be right back. Drew, your thoughts.
So with my thoughts on this one, and Snowman gives a great take on that, and I have to agree with him on this as well. I think that they're going to trade him because they're 45 and 46. They're one game under 500. Like without Mike Trout, without some of the pieces that were making them decent not too long ago. I mean, they were okay, but the Angels have had their struggles for quite some time, even back when they made that really, really big mistake of signing Albert Pujols to that long-term deal. And then Albert Pujols leaves, goes to St. Louis last year and has a resurgence end of his career to be able to hit 700 home runs, to be able to go to the playoffs and have an opportunity to make a run. Didn't work out for him quite that well, but hey, he had the opportunity. Shohei is going to get traded, I feel like, because this is the very end of his deal. If they don't trade him, they're not going to get anything back in return because he is bye-bye at the end of this season. The biggest question is going to be, where does he go? And there's multiple teams out there that can make moves for Shohei, and there's multiple ways that he can be a vital piece to any team that he goes to, because he not only can work for you offensively at the plate because he's got 32 home runs going into the All-Star break, but he's also a phenomenal pitcher, great pitcher, keeps himself in great shape. And again, the last time we saw this was 100 years ago when Babe Ruth, the great Bambino, was doing both sides with pitching and hitting. But by this point, 100 years ago, he had shifted as to more primarily of a hitter, right fielder, first base. before even the designated hitter was brought into the MLB. The advantage for Shohei is he can pitch. The next day he can be the designated hitter. Then the third day he can play in right field or left field or wherever, and they can move him all around and help him out to where he can to ease his way back into 100% stamina and get ready for pitching again. At some point, he's going to have to make the decision, more than likely, as he gets older, as his body starts breaking down, to where he's going to have to decide whether he's going to be a pitcher or a hitter and a fielder. And that decision is more likely going to shift more towards what I previously said, in him being a hitter, because the man's hitting 32 home runs before the All-Star break. He's still very young. He still has a lot of time left ahead of him. But when the Angels are 45-46 going into the All-Star break, and you are at this position to where you are at one game under 500, and there's nothing that you can do to really bolster this team to get back into where it can contend in the division, where, like Snowman said, you have the Rangers at the top at 52-39 with a 2-game lead over his homer of a team, the Houston Astros, who are 50-41. In third place are the Mariners, who are 45-44, 1 game over 500, and they're only 1 game over the Angels at that point for third place. And then, of course, the Angels are 45-46, and the other team that they don't have to worry about, they will not be in last place by the end of the season. I'm going to call it now. When you got the Oakland Athletics at 25-67, who are 20.5 games behind you, I think it's safe to say you at least won't be the worst team in the division or in all of Major League Baseball. But if you don't make this trade for Shohei Ohtani to go to another team and get some vital pieces back into the rotation, whether it's your pitching rotation or on your overall lineup for your everyday starting 9, I feel like you're going to become one of these very bottom feeder teams of the league if you don't get something in return for that. But let's see what you guys think here in the comments so far. Ike will save this one for when Snowman gets back. The Sports Sensei's is brought to you by Meaty Sleazeball Subs. Don't beat the meat or toss a salad. Just enjoy the subs. Welcome to the show, Sick Diggy. Thank you again for your fill-in last week to help me out with some discussion on this show. Ike says also Billy Ripken is trash. And yes, you are stuck about 30 years in the past, but Billy Ripken was trash in Major League Baseball for the Baltimore Orioles, Texas Rangers, and I think he played for somebody else, but I can't remember too much about what old Bill Ripken did, because yes, he was trash, but it's not time to bring up old Billy Ripken. Ike just can't do it. And Slackjaw VPN, for when you want to slack off, choose Slackjaw VPN. Where
the slacking be smooth.
Snowman is back, and there's a question that we had that I was going to wait till you came back before we acknowledge. When is Snowman coming back to In or Out? Well, we have confirmed it within the past week. Snowman will be on for episode 100.
Indeed, I will.
Tonight is episode 94 with Corey Mann at 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Corey comes back for his 5th time on the show. Next Monday, will be a trios edition between Kyle Nash, Darrell Owens, and myself on next Monday evening at 7 o'clock. And I'm working on, I got to wait for confirmation back, but episode 96 may be on Tuesday. So just gotta wait. But Snowman, you will be on episode 100, but it looks like we'll be getting there within the next 4 to 5 weeks. So
can't wait.
And maybe if we do 2 episodes a week, slightly sooner, but I would say at earliest probably 3 weeks from now.
Okay.
But we'll say between 3 and 5 weeks. But yeah, Ike, thank you for the question. Snowman's coming back. Looking forward to getting him back on there for the 4th time.
Looking forward to being there.
As he is a 3-time Vault of Fame inductee on the show. It looks like Snowman and I have had this discussion for the 6 years I have known him. Deets flexing a little bit. And then been on his show. Why is baseball losing popularity? And this is the reason why, he says. I like the wild berry Skittles over the regular bag. I mean, hey, Skittles.
I like the wild berry Skittles.
The wild berry
Skittles are Skittles.
Yes, and it's wild berries are up there, but it's the original Skittles are up there neck and neck with them. Now the tropical stuff and all the weird stuff they've done in the past, no, I'm not really a fan of those. But the original Skittles,
I'm not either. But give me the original and the wild berry, and I'm good.
And you know what? You're talking about the M&Ms, the peanut butter ones. I got to go with Mr. Goodbar. I love Mr.
Really?
Goodbar. Mr. Goodbar has been an all-time favorite of mine since I was a kid. Haven't had it that much over the years. Skittles is my main go-to, kind of like how Marshawn Lynch used to do them before you would enter the game. I got to have a few Skittles before I go live. It just helps me get to where I need to be.
Okay.
But can we just cancel the AL Central? The lesser of the division would be last in the AL East.
I think it was saying leader.
Yeah, okay. That's why I was reading it funny, but and what a joke of a division. Yeah, it absolutely is. That's why I was just discussing that because the Angels still as bad as they are, still won't finish in last because the Athletics are 20.5 games behind them at the record of 25 and 67.
Las Vegas Athletics.
Any team interested in Ohtani is going to have the match the Angels asking price. Yeah. And what would the Angels asking price be in this question?
$500 million plus first round draft picks.
Absolutely.
Period.
It's going to be dumb.
It's going to be $500 million. Ohtani's going to be the first $500 million player in Major League Baseball history.
No, he's going to get there, just like Pat Mahomes was the first one in NFL. A couple more comments we got before we wrap things up. Billy Ripken is the best baseball card of all time. Fleer 92 with a certain word written on his bat. He did have a great card for that, but when you're known more for your baseball card than your actual production on the field, get out of here, dude. And awaiting instruction for the Sensei, says Ryan McCarthy. Thank you, Ryan, for joining us here towards the tail end. We appreciate you for being here. We got a lot of things we covered in that hour, so check it out.
My buddy Narek Patterson, a.k.a. My Dark Reality, joined the show. He texted me a few moments ago saying, where's the link? And he has this. Maybe popularity with baseball is going down just because we were spoiled with so many All-Stars for so long. Just a thought. He's got a great point.
No, he really does. He really does a great take, and thank you for joining the show there, sir, and we appreciate your input on that because that's why the popularity is going down, and the fans have complained about that with the NBA and NFL. They absolutely have. That's a great point. There's some two great statements for your first time checking the show out. Thank you for being here live. You may have checked it out in syndication, but first time live. Thank you for joining the show, My Dark Reality. Well, Snowman, we got about 90 seconds before we go into our outro. What are your closing thoughts going into this week of sports and before we come back next Tuesday?
I'm waiting for the All-Star Game to see what it does. I'm back with Sunday afternoon baseball this Sunday, featuring the Oakland Athletics as they host the Minnesota Twins. And I think Sunday night baseball, and I love being out in the crowd. Don't get me wrong. Love being out with the crowd, but just being able to call baseball games and get my rhythm back and get ready for the baseball job I know is coming to me. And once again, Cheyenne baby girl, happy birthday. I love you. Daddy loves you. Those are my closing thoughts.
And actually, I've been muted this whole time. Wow, thank you for telling me that I was muted. I don't know how I got muted. I must have accidentally clicked that. But I was going through your comments and just saying that I was appreciating the love and the stuff that we were getting there too, as I was giving love to My Dark Reality right there for the love you too, Brian, and saying he was enjoying my thoughts too. And yes, I was definitely muted while I look like Wilson from Home Improvement. But guys, thank you so much for checking out episode 28 of the Sports Senseis Unleashed. There's only one thing we have left to do that I say at the end of every show, and that is check out one badass outro from the man, myth, and the legend, Cole Johnson. For the Snowman, Brian Snow, I am D. Willie Drew Willingham. Everybody stay safe out here in these streets.